Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 21st of March. My name is Sahil and welcome to the newspaper analysis. So friends, in the today's video, we are going to discuss the entire analysis of the Hindu newspaper. Now, before moving on, first of all, let's see the overview of the entire newspaper in order to understand that which articles will be important for our examination. And the explainer PDF that I will be using here, that explainer PDF you can download from our Telegram channel. You can find its link in the description box. Now, first of all, let's see the overview. So here we can see the page number 1 of the Hindu newspaper. So the first article, after days of suspense, Biren gets a second term in Manipur. So with respect to the chief minister of Manipur, this particular article is there. However, with respect to UPSC, nothing is there into this particular article. Covishield second dose 8 weeks after the first. So basically the gap that has been there, it is being reduced. Fine. However, again with respect to examination, nothing is much important. Fine. So the entire page number 1, much important things are not there. Moving on into this particular direction. So guys, into the city section, the regional news, okay, advertisements etc have been given. Now here we can see that African technique used to translocate deer from Kyolo Deo. Now we'll see that what of the African technique is being discussed here and how it can be important for our examination. We'll see this particular article. Then further moving on, we reach to the editorial page, and on the editorial page, the first article, India's stand on the Ukraine war is tragic. Now see, actually guys, there are the two issues now which are coming every day into the Hindu newspaper. Number one is the Russia Ukraine war that is going on and India's stand on to the Russia Ukraine, and second is the hijab ruling that had come by the Karnataka High Court. Now every other day there will be multiple articles written by the different authors, different commentaries that are there. However, being a UPSC aspirant, you need to support more of what has been the official position. With respect to the Russia Ukraine, official position is such that have we have taken a we have not supported, neither we have supported the Russia nor we have been towards the west. Okay, we have adopted a situation of neutrality, and on hijab controversy the Karnataka High Court had said that it is not an essential practice. So that is something that you should keep in your mind, and everyday commentary is not important. I think 12 to 13 times we have already discussed the Russia Ukraine issue and the India's stand on to that. Everyday reading is not required. The same thing. Then get the wrinkles out of the South Asian textile story. So basically the textile market, the South Asia's textile trajectory, growth and all those things have been discussed. How India can take the benefit, we'll see this particular article. Then mounting pressure. So guys, this article just is talking about that as now there is a huge pressure from the west that India should stay in its situation on Ukraine and Russia. So there is certain things that have been provided in this particular article. So we will see what is briefly provided. The spring blues, a fresh guard is needed to nurture India's fledgling economic recovery. So basically the article is saying that now more than 2 years have happened, okay, and the economic landscape of India is not in a very good shape. Some urgent steps are to be taken in this particular direction. A very generalistic kind of article has been given. Okay, nothing much substantial is there with respect to the examination. Two freedoms and hijab in our midst. So guys, again the hijab controversy, already the yesterday we have taken this particular article. Beyond that, nothing new is provided in this particular article. Harm in the name of good. So this article is talking about the environmental conservation, how the tree plantation needs to be rethought of. We'll see this particular article. Fine. Then guys, further this article, it is a political article. Much important thing is not there. Now coming into the text and the context page. In the text and the context page, the first article here we can see it is talking about the complexities of introducing the African cheetahs to India. Now African cheetahs, all their history, find the reintroduction, okay, the problems, the all those things we are going to see. Then the sunny side up, guys, this article is not important for our examination, please avoid it. Then Japan still hopes that India will join RCEP. We'll see that what is provided. Quad has accepted India's stand. Okay, so basically guys, now when we talk about the quadrilateral security dialogue, it was a concern with respect to the India's stand on to the Ukraine. Okay, so but they say that they have accepted and they are ready to move forward with it. Okay, now but much important substance is not there. Further moving on, after that guys, the political articles etc, nothing very much important is given. Diesel price for bulk users raised by nearly 25 rupees a liter. So the bulk users, okay, for them it has been increased, okay, because of the international oil prices that is going on, but for the end consumer the price as of now has not been increased, but obviously in few days it is going to be increased. However, not important that how much rupees it has increased, how much it has went down, not important for our examination. Don't go down the NATO path, the China minister. Now guys, there are two narratives in the world stage that are there. A narrative number A, that the NATO and the West they want to disturb the regional peace, and the narrative B is by the China and Russia, and the narrative B is by the West. They says that the China and Russia are detrimental to the world order. Now every day their ministers, fine, they are giving some statements, okay, and then there are the counter statements, fine, not important that every day you need to read it. Then Ukraine colleges offer online colleges of online classes. India hopes to put down roots in Arctic. So we'll see that what is provided here. Fine. Then guys, further moving on world page. Okay, basically the regional issues etc. have been given. Much of the important thing is not there with respect to the policy point of view. Money wise page, today is Monday, and on Monday business page is not there, the money wise page comes. So it talks about the home loan and all such things, not important for our examination. Then we have the sports page. So this is about the overview of the entire newspaper, and now let's discuss all these articles one by one in the detail. Now before moving on, we'll take the GS quote. So today we'll take the quote from William Slim. William Slim says that the moral courage is higher and a rare virtue than the physical courage. First of all, what do we mean by the courage? Now guys, courage, it means to overcome your fear and to act in the face of adversary. Courage never means that you don't feel the fear. Courage means you feel fear, but still you overcome that fear and still act. You don't become you don't get any inertia, you act. That is the courage. Now there can be two types of courage. A physical courage could be there, and then a moral courage could be there. Now moral courage means that you can speak your mind even in the face of adversary. Even there could be criticism, but you have the power, you have the courage that you can speak out your mind. So thus moral courage is more important than just a physical courage. Okay, it builds up the character, it builds up the ethical pursuit. So this particular quote we can use in GS paper number 4, ethics. Now taking up the first article. So guys, the first article we have taken from the text and the context section, and this particular article is talking about the complexities of introducing the African cheetahs to India. Now first of all, before moving in this particular article, I will tell you the background that has been there, and after that background we will see that what this particular article is all about. Meanwhile, the article will be important for GS paper number 3, environmental conservation. Now guys, the background goes like this. Let's see, just focus on to this particular picture. Now the Indian subcontinent once upon a time had a range of large number of cheetahs. Okay, so 1932, 1912, 1896, 1954, 1940, these are the different historical ranges of cheetahs that were there. But guys, over the years what had happened, the cheetah got extincted into the India. Okay, and from 1980s onwards there have been the multiple attempts that the cheetah which have now become extinct into India should be reintroduced back. And since the time of the Indira Gandhi government, multiple studies have been conducted that how the cheetah from another country can be brought and could be reintroduced in India. Now there are multiple things in this regard. First of all, if we need to reintroduce cheetah, from where the cheetah is to be reintroduced, number one. Number two, if the cheetah will be reintroduced in India, will that particular population be viable in Indian conditions? Will it be able to survive? So multiple studies had come here. Now guys, first of all, the foremost proposal for the cheetah reintroduction that was there is that we need to introduce the Asiatic cheetah. Now guys, basically the Asiatic cheetah or the Asian cheetah is now available into the Iran. So the first we wanted to import the cheetah from the Iran, the Asian cheetah. But guys, that particular thing did not got materialized, and then the second proposal that came, that okay, what we'll do, we'll reintroduce the African cheetah in India. And for that African cheetah, there were the proposal that from the savannah and from the country as Namibia, the cheetahs will be brought in India. Now where in India the cheetahs will be reintroduced? So Kuno National Park has been selected as a site. Now the Kuno National Park is in Madhya Pradesh. Kuno National Park is in Madhya Pradesh. So Kuno National Park, Madhya Pradesh has been selected as a site where the cheetahs will be reintroduced. Now why it has come now into the news? Because guys, recently the government had provided this particular thing that the Kuno is ready to receive the cheetahs. The feasibility studies have been made there. Moreover, it has been provided that the team of government officials have even visited to the Africa, Namibia, and they have inspected the cheetahs there, which will be sent to the India, and review arrangements have been made. Now what is the contention is that basically the Namibia wants that the support, India should give the support from so that the ban that has been there under the sites, it can be lifted. Okay. Now guys, basically the sites, it is an international convention which bans the import and export of the vulnerable animals, floras, faunas. Clear? So under the sites, exporting the cheetah, fine, from one country to another country is not allowed. So we need to have a waiver from the sites. Okay, so this is something on which the things are now struck. Now guys, that this particular cheetah translocation from Namibia to India that will happen, this particular thing is being provided by the Cheetah Conservation Fund. Now the Cheetah Conservation Fund is an NGO. Now the cheetahs are not being provided by the Namibian government. You need to keep this thing in your mind. Cheetah Conservation Fund will be providing the cheetahs to India. So this is something, the basic things that have been there, and many of the details could be asked in your prelims examination from this particular thing. Now let's discuss some of the deeper aspects. Now guys, when we talk about the cheetahs in India, the Asiatic cheetahs, they had a wide distribution in India, and there are many of the sources that they were occurring from Punjab in the north to the Tamil Nadu. Okay, from the south into from the north in the Punjab, it existed to Tamil Nadu, and then east to west expansion is also huge from Gujarat and Rajasthan to the Bengal in the east. The cheetahs were rampant into the India. Moreover guys, the cheetah's habitat was also very much diverse. Okay, they existed into the scrub forest, dry grassland forest, savannas, and other arid and semi-arid open habitats they have been found in India. Clear? Now when we talk about, I already told you that in Iran the last surviving population of the Asiatic cheetahs were found, and particularly into the Iran around the desert ecosystems the cheetahs are found there, but the things did not got materialized. Now first of all, what is the reason that the cheetah got extincted into the India? Now guys, the first problem is the hunting, indiscriminate hunting of the cheetah population. Now first of all, during the Mughal period, large number of cheetahs were hunted, but guys, the biggest blow to the cheetahs came during the colonial rule. Around 1871, the British government fixed a bounty onto the hunting of a cheetah. If you will kill a cheetah, you will be given a reward, and because of that bounty hunting, large number of male, female, immature cheetahs were killed, and their population came down. And around 1947, it was said that the last of the last cheetah were killed, but there were multiple reports according to which even after 1947, by 1965-66 also the cheetahs were there, but after that no cheetahs have been sighted in India, and in India the cheetah became extinct. Now I told you that from so many of the years there have been the proposals that the cheetah will be reintroduced. Fine, many studies have been conducted, but guys, the Supreme Court does not believe that reintroduction of cheetah will be a good thing. In 2013, there was an order of the Supreme Court that came, and in 2013 Supreme Court said that reintroduction of African cheetahs in India, particularly at the Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh, is not a right kind of strategy. Now first of all, let's understand that what government's view is, why they are reintroducing cheetah. So government, the official view is that we want to establish a viable cheetah meta population in India, so that cheetah can perform its functional role as a top predator and provide space for the expansion of the cheetah within its historical range. Now guys, understand this particular thing. See, whenever we talk about any ecosystem, when we talk about it, there is actually a species which is a top predator species. Now this top predator species, what it does, it keeps the population of other species in control. Suppose we have a kind of a forest ecosystem. Now into this forest ecosystem, let's say that the grazing animals, fine, deers, rabbits, etc., their population increases a lot. What will happen over a period of time? They will eat away all the shrubs, all the green vegetation, they will eat away. Their population will increase, okay, and then the entire ecosystem, the will collapse. So we need to have a top predator species which can hunt the other animals and can keep a population into the check. Now the cheetah happens to be a top predator. Now it has been provided that in many of the grassland areas of India, what had happened? Top predators are missing, and because of that, the ecosystem, okay, it is getting disturbed. So therefore, we will reintroduce the cheetah back. Okay, this is something. It has been provided that the cheetah is a charismatic flagship and umbrella species to garner resources for restoring the open forest and savanna system, and it will benefit the biodiversity and ecosystem services. But guys, the critics here say that why you need to have cheetah for this particular thing? There are the top predators that are already available. For example, there are in around the Kuno National Park, there are still the population of leopard that are there. These leopards can play the role of a top predator species. Moreover, there are the tigers also that are there. Okay, and then there are the jackals also which are there, which can perform that particular role. Why specifically we need to reintroduce the cheetah? So it has been said that it is nothing but a kind of a publicity stunt that the government is going forward. Moreover, it has been said that when these cheetahs will be reintroduced here, they will not be able to survive. So rather than focusing on them, we need to focus on leopards, we need to focus on Asiatic lions, we need to focus on tigers. That is something more desirable kind of thing that has been there. Moreover, it has been provided that for the restoration of the habitats, rather than having a cheetah, what we need to do, we need to work on certain other things. For example, number one, we need to remove the grasslands from the category of the wastelands. So today grasslands are called as wasteland, and because of that their conservation is often ignored. Second thing that has been provided, that we need to further prevent the degradation, fragmentation and destruction of these particular habitats by the develop construction activities, by many other such kind of things, and fine. Okay, moreover, the science based restoration and inclusive protection is something that is needed to be focused rather than the introduction of African cheetahs. Guys, understand this particular thing, that if African cheetahs are being brought here, many of the diseases which are endemic to the Africa, they can also be brought here, which might impact our other animals population also. Moreover, it is a very costly exercise that the government is going to take forward. So it has been criticized also. So this is, guys, the entire issue that have come in this particular direction. I hope that you have understood it, and now we'll move to the next article. African technique used to translocate deer from Kyolo Deo. Now, guys, understand this particular thing, that first of all, this particular article will be important in our GS paper number 3, conservation, environmental conservation, and secondly, it will be also important for the PT prelims examination. Okay, now basically, guys, here it has been first of all, what is the issue here? African practice, the Boma technique has been discussed here. First of all, let's discuss that what is this Boma technique. Now, guys, the Boma is a capturing technique. What is this capturing technique? See, suppose this is area A and this is area B. Now let's say certain animals are to be translocated from this area B to area A. This is a very challenging task. First of all, you need to capture an animal from such a kind of a way that it is not very traumatizing to that particular animal. Without the injury, without the fatality, the animal is to be translocated here. Moreover, the trauma needs not to be there, and the animal should not get a realization that animal has actually been transported, because then that trauma will lead to some kind of problem and the resettlement into the new area will become problematic. So the translocation of animals is a kind of a challenging task. Now, guys, why we are discussing this particular thing now? Recently, guys, what had happened? See, there is Kyolo Deo National Park into the Rajasthan. Okay, Kyolo Deo National Park into the Rajasthan's Bharatpur district. Now from here, there are the spotted deer that are to be translocated into another area, that is the Mukundra Hill Tiger Reserve. So basically, more than 400-kilometer distance is there between these two areas, that is the Kyolo Deo National Park in Rajasthan to Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve. 400-kilometer distance is there. Now basically, into the Mukundra Hill Tiger Reserve, the tigers who are living there, they need certain praise. Okay, they need to have some prey food. Now there the population of the preys, the population of the deer, etc., has not been very much high. So the proposal has been there that from the Kyolodo National Park, the spotted deers will be translocated into the Mukundra Hill Tiger Reserve, where the tigers can fed onto these particular deers. So for this particular translocation, what has happened, this Boma capturing technique, which is a technique of Africa, has been now used. So let's understand that what is this Boma capturing technique. So let's understand. Now into this particular technique, it involves luring of animal into an enclosure. Okay, so here you can see that there is an enclosure that has been built. So first of all, the animal will be lured into this particular enclosure. Now this particular enclosure will be very similar to, now it will be a natural kind of an enclosure where the animal will not feel strange. Okay, through a funnel like fencing. Okay, so into a fencing, this particular animal will be, the funnel tapers into an animal selection come loading chute supported with grass mats and green net to make it opaque for animals, which are then herded into a large vehicle for transport to another location. Now guys, understand, just focus onto this particular picture. So here you can see that first of all, what will be done, the animal, for example the spotted deer here, will be lured into this particular enclosure. Now this particular enclosure has been fenced. Now from here it will be lured into this particular fencing, into this particular area. Now this particular area will be padded with the grasses, nets, etc., and from there it will be transferred to this particular vehicle, and this particular vehicle will carry then that particular animal to another area where it has to be translocated. This is called as the Boma capturing technique. It has been used to translocate the deer from Kelodo National Park to the Mukundra Hill Tiger Reserve, which is in another part of the Rajasthan. Is it clear? So this is something that has happened. Why? I already told you that there is a prey deficiency into the Mukundra Hill Tiger Reserve, and the tigers and leopards need to feed on it. Guys, earlier the Mukundra Hill Tiger Reserve was also in news for another reason. What has happened? The National Tiger Conservation Authority, NTCA's technical committee, has also approved that 2 of the tigers will be shifted from the Ranthambore National Park to the Mukundra. Clear? So 2 tigers from the Ranthambore National Park. Now the Ranthambore National Park is also into the Rajasthan. So from Ranthambore National Park to the Mukundra, 2 of the tigers will also be transported. Okay, because recently 2 of the tigers were lost in, they were killed. So this is something that has happened here. So this is a Boma technique. Okay, and these particular parks, etc., their location, you need to keep it in your mind. Fine. Now moving to the next article. Mounting pressure. The message, the mounting pressure. Now guys, this particular article, it is talking about that how now a lot of pressure is being exerted on the India, that India should change its strategy over the Russia, should change its stand over the Russia-Ukraine crisis. First of all guys, this particular thing, you need to see it under the purview of the GS paper number 2, international affairs. Clear? Now what had happened, recently there are many of the high level summits from the western representations that have happened. First of all, there have been the summits with the Prime Minister of Japan and Australia. The virtual summit has been there. After that, there is going to be one more summit with the Israeli Prime Minister into the few days. Then there have been the visit by the US Under Secretary of State, okay, as well as the European foreign ministers and delegations have visited to the India. Now all the people who had visited to India, these are the Western partners, these are the NATO allies. Okay, now all of them are coming to India, and what is the reason? Even the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, he had made a full bilateral agenda and will discuss with the Prime Minister. Fine, many of the things. Now why they all of are focusing on India? The focus of all those particular meeting is clear. They want that India should shift its position on 3 counts. Clear? Number 1, India should shift its position at the UN. Now guys, what had happened at the United Nations, the resolutions have been moved against the Russia. The resolution was moved into the UNSC Security Council, United Nations General Assembly, United Nations Human Rights Council. The resolution was moved where the Russia was condemned. Now what India had done, India had abstained into these particular resolutions. Now this abstention is something that is not liked by the Western countries. They want that you need to come out very openly and should criticize the Russia. So they want that India should change its position from abstention to a kind of a criticism of Russia. Second, one thing, Then the second, to join the sanctions regime. Now the West is imposing different sanctions onto the Russia. But what we have seen into the yesterday, we have seen that the India is more eager to buy even more oil from Russia. Clear? Because Russia is offering the oil at a discount. So rather than offering the sanctions, we are actually increasing our economic relations with the Russia. This is not something which is being liked by the West. Third, to avoid contracting for more Russian oil, okay, or sending civil or military supplies to Putin regime until the war ends. So please don't do trade, don't buy the oil, don't send the weapon, and be very critical. This is something that the West expects from India. Now guys, this thing looks reasonable also, because now we see that the civilian toll into the Ukraine is increasing. Fine, many of the residential areas have been bombed by the Russia. So it has been said that okay, this thing is something now which looks more of legitimate. Is it clear or not? It has been said that Russia is violating the human rights. Okay, now this is something which is we need to recognize. Now guys, India has expressed concerns over the nuclear security, and India must be willing to make this an issue with Moscow if necessary. Now it has been said that there is all these things, the nuclear threat is there, civilians are being targeted. Moreover, it has been said that this particular war can also turn into a chemical and biological warfare. Is it clear? Though the Indian representatives, they have expressed their concern, and they had said that we need to fully implement the biological and toxin weapon convention, okay, and there should not be any instance where the chemical or biological weapons should be used. But there is a possibility that this is something that can be resorted to the Russia, and for this particular thing a strong reprimand to the Russia is to be sent, and for that the West wants that India should become more pro-West and should criticize the Russia more openly, and because of this thing all these delegations have been made to India. So this is all which have come in this particular article. So guys, that is about it, and now we'll move to the next article. Get these wrinkles out of the South Asian textile story. Okay, now first of all guys, this particular article will be important with respect to the GS paper number 3, that is the sectors of Indian economy. This particular article will be important. What this particular article is talking about? This article is talking about the textile sector of the South Asia. Now before going in this particular article, I would like to give you some extra reference here guys. See, couple of 3 years back there was a specific chapter in the economic survey, and the name of the chapter was from jeans the chapter was on the jeans and shoes, the importance of jeans and shoes manufacturing industry of India. Now what is this jeans and shoes? Jeans and shoes means the low end manufacturing industry. Economic survey had provided that actually in India we have a huge demographic dividend, we have a lot of young population, and along with it the unemployment is also very much high in India. So India needs to work on certain sectors which have a huge potential of hiring more and more people, and here the low end manufacturing such as making of jeans, making of shoes, making of apparels, etc., it comes here. So it has been said that all the countries which have high population, they need to explore the labor intensive sectors such as the low end manufacturing, apparel manufacturing, textile manufacturing. Now this particular article had said that actually the South Asia had become a major hub and had become a global textile manufacturing area, and in that the Bangladesh had particularly taken a lot of advantage. How India should take a more advantage, this is something that is being discussed in this particular article. So let's discuss the article, what it is saying. So guys, the South Asia had become a major player in the global textile and clothing market. Why? Because of the high population and because of the cheap labor that is there. Earlier the China was the epicenter of the low end manufacturing, but now the China is moving to more complex manufacturing such as the artificial intelligence, machine to machine learning. Okay, all these areas China is exploring, and in the China human resources becoming expensive, but still there are other low hanging fruits. The Philippines is there, Bangladesh is there, okay, Vietnam is there. These are the countries which still have very large cheap labor. So this particular area is becoming very important for the textile manufacturing. Bangladesh has joined the league in the 1980s. In the 1980s the civil war broke in Sri Lanka, the China's manufacturing became expensive, and Bangladesh took the lead here. Today guys, there are many other strategies also which have helped the Bangladesh. For example, since the 1990s zero duty on raw material is being imposed, zero duty onto the capital machinery is being imposed. So what had happened, because no duties there, no import duties there. The Bangladesh, they are importing large fibers in India, and they are manufacturing those fibers into the finished textiles. Capital machinery, taxes, import duties are not there. So much of the technology transfer from the West has also happened into the Bangladesh in a very efficient manner. And today, the Bangladesh has overtook the India in exports of textiles into the past one decade. Indian labor cost, because of the even into the India, labor cost have increasing and the textiles are becoming more expensive. Bangladesh is taking the all advantage. Now guys, it has been provided that India has been successful particularly because of the technical upgradation fund scheme that has been there. Because of this technical upgradation fund scheme, the technical sectors, the technical enterprises, they have been upgraded, the technology have been given, efficient machinery has been given to them. The cotton and the textile sector, okay, it is there, but guys, still India is not still India has not leveraged the move into the man-made fibers. Still in the man-made fibers we are not very much good player. We have the cotton is our forte, and in that the industries are working into the seasonal fashion. Now what the article says, that today we are seeing the fourth industrial revolution. Now the fourth industrial revolution is one where the internet of things will become pervasive, the robotics will become more high, artificial intelligence will be pervasive. So because of the fourth industrial revolution, the artificial intelligence, internet of things that is coming, this thing will also influence the production pattern into the textile sector also. What had happened, the technology will be integrated into the textile sector. Fine, what will happen, the automation will become more high. Okay, robotics will take the place of the manpower into the textile sector. Artificial intelligence will be used to make designing, to do alteration, okay, and for many other kind of modifications. Okay, virtual reality will come, 3D printing will come. Okay, now this particular thing will have its own opportunities as well as challenges. First of all, the challenge that will come here is that, see, textile sector has been traditionally a sector which have hired a large number of people. Many of the repetitive jobs were there which were done by the manual labor. But now as the artificial intelligence, robotics, etc. will come, these labor will be replaced with the machines and the robots. So large number of people will become employed. Moreover guys, today if we see the apparel sector, the market, it has switched from seasonal fashion to fast fashion. Okay, the fashion is changing, and then comes the concept of the accurate fashion. Accurate fashion is, now see, earlier there was a seasonal fashion. You will wear a particular type of clothes in winters and a particular type of clothes in summers. Now the fast fashion had come even into the summers. Clear, there will be the different kind of patterns that will change, and the accurate fashion is that on weekly basis the trend is changing. Okay, so making of apparel, making sure that the apparel is reaching into the market, all this particular thing is needed to be done in a less time, and in this the technology will bring a large number of challenges for the manual labor. Digitalization, automation, okay, into the design, prototyping, they have increased. Quick transportation is something that is needed to be there. Fine, cost controls are needed to be there. Now India needs to work on all these particular things, that how the artificial intelligence, how the technological upgradation that is coming in textile, we can use it to our own advantage. Today into the textile sector, the sustainability is also becoming an important consideration. Today the foreign buyers, they have become more conscious, and they want to have the green manufactured products. Okay, the products, the clothes that have been made from discarded clothings, the products that have been made from such kind of raw material which does not endanger the environment. So the sustainability has also become an important aspect. Now here it has been provided that when we talk about India, affordable labor continues to be an advantage into this particular region, but India had done something more also. India can do something more also. India has high number of scientists, engineers, they can lead into this particular direction. Into the artificial intelligence we can lead. Okay, infrastructure, demographic dividend we have. Now India had extended also the tax rebates onto the apparel export till 2024. So whatever apparel we are exporting, the tax rebates are also being given. We are focusing on competitiveness. Income tax relaxations are being given to the companies who want to come in India and want to start their textile manufacturing. But apart from this, much more is also to be done. So this is something which have been provided in this particular article, and guys, even a question onto the mains have been asked onto this particular line. So that is all about it, and now we'll move to the next article. Harm in the name of good. So this article will be important for GS paper number 3, environmental conservation. Now, what this particular article is talking about, this article is talking about that how our policy with respect to the tree plantation is wrong. Recently, what has happened? The United Nations General Assembly has proclaimed March 21 as the International Day of Forest, as the International Day of Forest. Now, this particular day has been marked to increase the awareness in the communities about the importance of the trees for the conservation of the forest, how the ecosystem services are provided by the forest, and all such kind of thing. And in this particular line, the central government also had recently approved, had came out with the national afforestation, recently the central government also through the National Afforestation and Eco Development Board has launched an ambitious program for afforestation in the 13 of the river beds. So understand this particular thing. There are 13 of the major rivers, 13 of the major rivers. Now the catchment area of these particular rivers have got reduced, the water flow into these particular rivers had got reduced. Now what the plan is that specifically the trees into the catchment areas of these 13 rivers will be planted. Because of that, what will happen? The trees will aid in increasing the water flow into the rivers. Is it clear or not? And therefore around into the catchment area of these 13 rivers, afforestation program is being carried, and it will be led through the National Afforestation and Eco Development Board, and this much money has been given. Okay, very good. Now the article says that when we talk about the forests are not just the collection of the trees. Forests are much more complex ecosystem that are built over hundreds and thousands of years, and a forest come in existence when there is a complex interplay between the different entities such as the birds, mammals, reptiles, insects, amphibians, fungi, microorganisms, water, soil, environment, and many such kind of conditions. When they come in a unique interplay, the forest will be made. A forest is not just that you plant 200 trees at a place and it will be a forest. No, it is not. This particular process takes a time. Is it clear or not? Okay, a complex ecosystem and then the finally is built. Now it has been said that, see, we come out with many of the ambitious projects for the afforestation. For example, now we are saying that into the 13 of the catchment areas of the rivers we will be building up the forest. So it has been said that we are coming out with policies, but often we don't focus onto the types of trees that will be planted. It has been provided that if wrong areas are selected for the plantation, okay, if the wrong type of trees are selected, okay, then that particular thing will destroy the ecosystem. Fine. For example, guys, it has been said that for example, guys, I'll give you one example. The natural grasslands few decades back, fine, were converted into the wooded areas through the tree planting. Now we wanted to plant the tree, and into the grasslands we have planted the tree. Now what happened? The great Indian bustard, it was once nominated to be the India's national bird, is now at the brink of extinction. Just 200 of the great Indian bustards have remained. Why? Because, guys, these animals were the animals of the these birds were the birds of the Indian grassland, and when the tree have been transplanted there, what had happened? They have very weak frontal vision. They got collided many times into the trees, and their population has got down. So planting a wrong kind of tree at a wrong place is a kind of a disastrous thing, and many such other examples have also been there into the India. Now, guys, it has been provided that basically we understand that there are only two type of trees. Okay, one are the native trees, okay, and other are the exotic trees. We feel that all the native trees, fine, they can be planted at anywhere. Okay, now native trees, what are the native trees? Native trees are, for example, the neem, peepal, banyan. Okay, these are the native trees. Okay, they are the native trees. But if they are native to a particular region, it doesn't means that it will be native to another region. In another region, it could be forest, it could be a foreign species. For example, the neem is a native tree, let's say, into the North India. It might not naturally be native tree into some another forest where another kind of trees are being grown. So we need to understand this particular thing also. Is it clear? Now, guys, there is one particular thumb of rule that is there. That is, one should plant the right tree in the right place as well as for the right reason. If we don't monitor this particular thing, there will be a problem. It has been said that often, always, rather than just going for the afforestation, we also need to look on some other solution also. Now, other solution is that giving a time to the forest so that it can recover at its own, it can come back at its own. It is called as the assisted natural regeneration, and it is more cheap, it is more effective. It has been provided that a kind of a natural regeneration, okay, natural regeneration, it absorbs 40 times more carbon than the plantations. Okay, so natural regeneration is more effective rather than just planting a tree. So we need to give forest more time, and let's say even if we are going for the afforestation, we need to be very much careful in the selection types of tree that are being planted. So this is all which has been provided in this particular article. And now guys, we'll move to the next article. India hopes to put down roots in Arctic. Now, basically guys, when we talk about the Arctic region is very important for the India's interest. First of all, the Arctic region influences the Indian weather condition, particularly the Indian monsoons. And now you understand that Indian monsoon is very much important for Indian economy, particularly the Indian agriculture. And if Arctic is influencing the Indian monsoon, the study of Arctic becomes very much important for the India. Moreover, guys, we now see that the climate change is there, the melting of ice caps is there. Big ice caps around the Arctic region, they are melting. India has a coastline of more than 7,500 kilometers. If the Arctic ice will melt, if the sea level will rise, a direct impact will be there on India. So in Arctic, the climate change expeditions are also being carried by India. Fine. Then guys, thirdly, the Arctic is also important for the commercial interest. Now the Arctic, it has many of the important minerals, there are the metals, there are many of the such kind of things are there. Okay, there is Arctic sea drilling project also there, which is going on. India is interested in that also. So for the mineral wealth of Arctic also, it is important. Now with respect to the Arctic, India had sent up till now 13 expeditions, okay, since 2007, and 23 active science projects we are running into the Arctic. Moreover, guys, in the Arctic, we also have our Arctic observatory. We have also the observation status, which is called by the name of the Himadri. You can see it into the picture also. So India has a single station, that is Himadri, into the Ny-Ellesnud Svalbard, which is a Norwegian archipelago. Okay, here into the Himadri, here we are having a permanent station also. Now here the Indian scientists, Indian personals are present for 180 days in a year. Now what India wants to increase more of its presence into the Arctic. Okay, now India is procuring many of such kind of equipments. For example, an icebreaker research vessel India is procuring more of satellites, etc., so that India can study Arctic in a more better way. Now guys, when we talk about Arctic, there is Arctic Council, which is the most important body for the Arctic. Into the Arctic Council, there are the 8 nations that are the members: Canada, Denmark, Finland, Norway, Iceland, Russia, Sweden, and US. These 8 countries make the Arctic Council. Now India aspires to have a permanent presence and more of a research facility. Moreover, as of a present time, India is the observer status into the Arctic Council. There are the 12 other countries also which are the observers into the Arctic Council. India is also one of an observer, but India wants to have more of a presence. So therefore India is upgrading it is thinking to have more of equipments, to have more of a satellites on board, so that it can study. So guys, these are all some of the details which can be important for our prelims examination. Please keep it in your mind. Now moving to the next article. Japan still hopes India will join RCEP. Now RCEP, see guys, it is a multilateral trade agreement. Fine, it stands for Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Under the RCEP, there are the 15 members that are there. Okay, Australia, Brunei, Cambodia, China, Indonesia, Japan, South Korea, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam. Now basically the negotiation for RCEP started in 2012, and India was also supposed to be the member of the RCEP. But India pulled back from RCEP, fine, and said that we will not join the RCEP. In 2019, India pulled back out of it. Why India pulled back out of it? Because it has been said that in the RCEP, China is also a member. And China, if RCEP will go down, there will obviously be reduction into the tariffs that will be there. China will dump their goods in the India. China will dump their goods in India. Moreover, the countries such as the New Zealand, etc., fine, New Zealand which is there, okay, the countries such as the Australia that is there, they have a very thriving dairy sector, okay, and their dairy sector will get access to Indian dairy, Indian markets, and Indian dairy farmers will then suffer. So many of such kind of reasons were there. We thought that we will not be able to get much of a benefit into this RCEP. We dropped from the RCEP in 2019, and since 2019, the Japan as well as Australia, time to time they basically send an invitation to the India that you should join the RCEP, you will get much more of benefit. Now the same thing has been done by the Japan. Now they are saying that we are hopeful that the India will join RCEP. Is it clear? Even here we see that a kind of a trilateral trade dialogue is also being run by the Japan, Australia and India, where they expect that India will join the RCEP grouping. They say that we will cater to the India's interest that are there. So this is something that has come. Apart from this, nothing more is there in this particular article. So guys, that is all about the today's newspaper analysis. So with this, we come to an end to the today's newspaper analysis. So that is all for today. And guys, if you have liked the video, please do hit the like button. So that is all for today. Now we'll be meeting tomorrow. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much.